Well, good evening, everyone. Hope you guys are having a much better day than I am. Well, I'll tell you what happened because this whole past weekend I was organizing myself, and the moment I start organizing and start putting stuff away is this moment that I can never remember where I put it, so I can't find things. Yeah, so I was kind of scrambling around trying to figure out where's my scissors. Found my snips. And for those of you who were on Zoom, I found my Kona thread. Finally, it was on a different machine. And I don't know why I put it on that machine because I don't use that machine with that particular Kona thread, but I put it on the thread spool for some stupid reason. Couldn't find my wool mat, so someone gave me this. So I just kind of opened it and it kind of stinks right now. Ooh. But we're going to use it because, yeah, I can't find my wool mat. Anyway, let's do some shout outs to see who is here. Let's see, we got Jackie's here. She's saying hello. Hello, Jackie. Barb McKinley is here. Hello, Barbara. Judy Hebert is here. Hello, Judy. Hey, Sue. I hope all is well and you enjoyed the long holiday weekend. Well, I kind of did a little bit of work, did a lot of organizing, as I was saying. Yeah, put some stuff in some, or put away things in some very illogical places. I think I was just more or less frustrated of just seeing it, so I just threw it in a box somewhere, and yeah, paid the price today, because now I can't find anything. Hello, Miss Mary Jane. Glad you made it. Katie Crafts is here. Hello, Katie. Jacqueline Spear. Hello, Jacqueline. Kelly Quilts and Cruises. Hello, Kelly. And Donna Hoskins is saying, hey, hey, hey. Hey, Donna. Hello, Miss Vera. And Donna Hoffler is here. Hello, Donna. Hi, Suzanne Taylor. She's saying hello. And let's see. And Shirley Kissinger. Hey, Shirley. Glad you made it here tonight. So, tonight, what am I just... Eric, just look for something else and you will find all your stuff. Yeah, that's eventually what I did. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the other thing, too, that I was looking for. So, and, of course, now, just tonight, I was looking for this cone of thread because I used this cone for this particular machine and I couldn't find it for the longest time. And what do you know? Tonight is the night that I find it. So, found it. Yeah. Somehow it's very weird that it all just works out that way. Ain't that a shame? We got Joyce here. Joyce is here. Hello, Joyce. Michelle the Quilter saying hello. Hello, Michelle. Gayla Walters. Hello, Gayla. And did you find your scissors? That happened to me once. I put my scissors in a safe place and couldn't find them. 2 months later, I found them in my glove box. Well, I did find I got, I don't know, like a dozen scissors all over the place. So yeah. I did find, I was missing a pair of LDH scissors, which are really good. And those are my favorite ones. And I couldn't find it for the longest time. And yep, I did find it. So, okay. And once I actually was trying to look for my scissors, and I didn't realize I had it on my lanyard, hanging right from my neck. Took me about 20 minutes to figure that out. Okay, so what am I doing tonight? Well, after being enthralled all day today, I really didn't want to sew another farmer's wife quilt block, even though I need to get moving on that. So I just said, you know what? I need to make some crumbs and some strings. So we'll just sew some crumbs tonight and just have a little chat. And just have fun sewing crumbs. Well, actually, I do need to get a few of these done because there is a project that I do have planned coming up in conjunction with someone. I'm not sure if she's here. I haven't seen her yet. But we were talking about doing sort of like a, I don't know, a project or some sort to just kind of, what's the word? Collaboration of sorts using crumbs and scraps. So, yeah, figure I need to get some of these done anyway. And again, I just really didn't want to sew another farmer's wife quote block. Okay, truth be told, I couldn't actually find something to turn on all the lights, my remote control. So that's what I was doing. And the truth came out and set me free. Hello, Miss Sandy Adger. Glad you made it here tonight. Diane Watson is saying good evening. Hello, Diane. Suzanne Taylor is asking, what is the quilt behind you? It's really pretty. Well, thank you. So the quilt behind me is actually, it was the very first quilt that I ever made that was using crumbs. So if you don't know what crumbs are, you get these little small pieces that you cut off when you trim a block, or, when you cut yardage, and then there's that one, maybe there's like a sliver or like a straight piece. I don't throw those away. I keep them, and I just sew those random pieces together. And eventually, what you can do is, like, this is a 4.5-inch square in which I could use this to put into a quilt and make a scrap quilt out of it. And so the quilt that's behind me was the very first quilt that I ever did using blocks like this. So if you see that red center, that's all scrap red fabric and orange fabrics that I just had on hand. And then the bigger square right there, that's all blue, turquoise, greens, little small tiny pieces that I had in a scrap bin, and I just sewed them together. When it got big enough for me to use, like this 4.5-inch square, just trim it down. So, and then of course the star points, I had extra purple fabric, which eventually became this little small piece of crumb. I had a lot of yardage of that I just wanted to use up, so that's what I used for the star legs. So okay. Hello, Miss Kathleen. How are you doing, girl? Glad you made it here tonight. And Joyce said my dad would misplace his glasses. Sometimes they would be on his head. He would get so mad. I've done that. Who was it? My mom? No, was it my mom? Yeah, I think it was my mom. Anyway, she was looking for her glasses. She had them on. And it took her about 10 minutes to figure out that she had them on and she was looking for her glasses. Yeah, I've done that too, admittedly. And then we all said, Mom, it's time to visit the ophthalmologist or the optometrist. One of those. So I got some pretty large pieces here. And I'm going to press that. Okay, so what is everybody working on tonight? And Suzanne Taylor says, wow, it doesn't even look like a crumb quilt. Well, thank you. But it is a crumb quilt made out of these crumb blocks that I keep making. And why do I make it? Well, this time around, is she here? No, she's not here. Maybe I'll wait a couple minutes because she usually comes in a little late. But there's myself and another YouTuber that is, we're trying to see if we can do a collab together using crumbs or scraps or strings, whatever. So, yeah. Today would have been my dad's 101st birthday. Aww. Happy birthday, Dad. Kelly's saying, I have not been able to make crumb blocks for a while. Too many other things going on. Yeah. I try to spend time sewing crumbs because if I don't, they will just get too out of hand. And I kind of don't like that. So I do make time to sew a few crumbs here and there. Normally when I'm doing this, I kind of use it like a leader and ender project where I have these bins right next to me, and as I'm piecing or working on a quilt or quilt block, I'll grab a few crumbs and just chain piece that in, and then that's how I get it done. But there's times where all I really want to do is just sew crumbs. Like tonight. And it's usually after I had a very busy day, which today was. So, but yeah, hope everybody had a great Labor Day weekend. Hope you guys weren't working, as some of us were. And I just dropped my piece. Okay. And Kelly says she spent most of today making flying geese blocks. Wow. How many did you get done? And I'm just going to chop that. So here's a smaller piece. And let me find a... Will it go on here? Will it fit on here? Yes, it will. Yeah. So with this, there's no rhyme or no reason. Just find a piece that fits or kind of close to fitting and just let her rip. Okay, Jackie's saying the Grand started their countdown to Christmas today. 113 days. Ooh. So, the Grands must love Christmas. Well, so do I. The odd thing is, though, I'm a practicing Buddhist. Go figure that. But hey, I can decorate for Christmas, right? And Katie Crafts is assembling her potato chip quilt. Sewing rows now. I gotta do one of those. you know, I keep cutting strips and strips and strips, and I keep doing, I don't know, just need something different to do with those strips rather than just making strip sets and jelly roll quilts. Okay, so... Hey, Jim. Well, good morning, Jim. he said he fell asleep. Rise and shine. You know, a lot of times, normally I don't finger press. Well, I just finger press the seams open. I usually don't iron it because it just takes too much time. But, you know, I got the iron here next to me. And since I have this wool mat, this new wool mat that I found, I figure I might as well use it tonight. So, let's see. Is this big enough? No, that is not big enough. So I need a few more pieces on here. I don't like that. There's too much brown on there. This will do. So, what exciting news does people have? Kelly says, sewing crumb blocks are a nice mental block for sure. Yeah. I usually like to just do this if I want to do some mindless sewing, which is a lot. Well, a lot these days because still kind of settling in here. So hopefully by the end of this weekend, I can get everything put away. I still got my fabric wall to kind of fill in. But other than that, at least stuff is in organized piles. And Kelly says, I got 22 fully completed as I am doing the stitch and flip method. You know, flying geese are not, I'll be honest, it's not my favorite quilt block to make. But as I'm learning, it's a pretty versatile block. Okay, so now I'm making it 4.5 inches. So this is big enough to go. I can start trimming it down. And if the pieces are large enough, like this piece, I'll put it on another crumb block. Oh, didn't quite grab the corner. And throw that in there, throw that there. All of this is in the trash. So got that one, 4.5. They're trying to tell me something. Ooh, okay. Donna Hoskins says, asking, did you get my picture? Yes, I did, Donna. Yes, I did. Sorry, I didn't respond to it, but I did see that. Very well done, too. I'm assuming you're talking about the picture of your bags. Yeah, liked it. Loved them. Hello, Miss Pearl. That's Pearl Medina from Moreno Valley, California. Oh boy, this thing is bulky. Okay, this one I do have to press. And Vera saying, I do the same thing with my scraps, usually potato chips or 4-patches. Okay. Does anyone well, I call it crumb tape. I know people have different names for it. I don't want to burn myself with the iron here. Let me scoot that out for a second. But does anyone sew crumbs to adding machine tape like this? Because I'm kind of curious what you guys have done with it. I know Karen Brown has a whole video of what she does with her crumbs. I'm trying to explore what I can do with it. Sorry, I keep forgetting the camera's here. Normally I put the camera there, but this is the better side of me. Anyway, let's see. And Kelly's saying, I'm currently saving my 2.5 inch by 4.5 inch rectangles in a plastic box for eventual potato chip something. Okay. Today, Gayla Walters says, today I was able to finish borders and backings on 2 small charity quotes. Also worked on samples for a new curve quote I'm planning. Ooh, Gayla's getting confident in her curves. Which reminds me, I should make this announcement. The next Zoom for the curves sew along or sew together, it's coming up this Saturday. So I will be sending out the Zoom information later on this week. And if you're interested in joining us, again, we are using the QCR mini ruler. Sorry, I know you can't see it on there, but we're using this some of us are using this QCR mini ruler just to sew curves. You don't have to use that exact same ruler. There's others that are working on Drunkard's Path quilts. Again, it's not a class, so I'm not instructing anything on it. It's just a time for us to just kind of get together and sew and chat. So again, that'll be coming up this Saturday from 12 to, we usually go to about 4 p.m., sometimes longer. Actually, the first couple of Zooms, we went for 6 hours, and we were all just kind of loving it, chatting with different people or different folks from around the world, not just here in the U.S. We did have someone from Europe. We got a number of people from Canada that joined. So it's a lot of fun. We're just sewing and chatting, basically. Almost like me doing a live, but this time I can actually see you guys and you guys can talk to each other live. So again, that's this coming Saturday. I will send out the Zoom information later on this week. And if you're interested in joining us, send me an email. Let's see. And Donna Huskin says, yes, thank you. I finished 2 last week and made drawstring bags for them today. Ooh. So a bag for a bag. Okay. Hello, Gladys. And Jackie says, no, I sold them to strips of thin interfacing. Okay. And Diane says, I do adding machine tape, makes interesting sashing or borders. I was kind of thinking about using that as a sashing or maybe even a border. But then putting that next to a crumb block already, I don't know. Might just seem a little too busy for my taste. So, but I'll keep that in mind. Or maybe do a border. Use it as an inner border with a solid print. Okay, now you got me thinking. I'll have to experiment. And Vera says, I have sewn on the tape. I prefer to sew on the muslin though. I hated ripping the paper off. Oh. And I am frozen. Why am I frozen? Okay. Let's try this. Is this frozen? No, that's frozen, not frozen. But that is. Okay. Huh. That is funny. Why is my face frozen? Okay, let's turn off this camera. Let's go dual cam. And wow, never had that happen where the camera actually froze on me. Oh, did the camera come loose? Maybe it did. Okay, let's fix this. Sorry, guys. Okay, now that should work. Thank you for telling me that. Didn't notice it. Okay. Jim Bennett says, our roof is getting done now from the storms that hit in May. Well, hope everything didn't get soaked or damaged. Oh, thank you guys. Okay, so is it working now? It seems to be moving on my end, so. Okay, Michelle the Quilter says, I have the adding machine tape but haven't used it yet. Have made string blocks sewing the strips to a plain beige fabric of a certain size. That's what I thought of doing, but then I'm like, what else can I do with it? That's just the way I kind of operate. If I see someone doing something like teaching how to construct a certain, say for example, a certain block, my natural tendency is to, well, first of all, construct the block just as they instructed, but my mind is kind of thinking like, well, what else can, or how else can we make it different, or what else could I do with the block? Which is how actually this came out, because the star block, well, I made a star block quilt or a star quilt before using a certain template. And then I said, well, what if I swap out the middle? And then what if I swap out the 4 corners with one of these crumb blocks, and what will it look like? So that's how this quilt came about. Okay. Okay. Let's see. This one, I just need a large piece. Do I have a large strip piece? I do. And here we go. Now, when I sew these, I don't have any care. I mean, how do I say this? I know there's some people that say, or they have, they stress out about same fabrics being in the same block. I don't stress about that. If it fits, it's going on. Hello, Lori. And Barb is asking, how have the temperatures been? They've been a little cooler. They're not well, it's still surpassing 100 degrees, but maybe like 101, 102. So not as bad as before. Still, I mean, hot is hot, so still bad, but I think I'm getting used to it though, because like today I took a walk during lunch, and it wasn't that bad, or at least I didn't feel like it was 1,000 degrees like when I first moved here. No, that's not going to be big enough. And I will sew this onto there, and then it should be big enough. Okay, that was weird. Why did the camera freeze? Okay, thank you guys. Everybody's saying now the camera is working. I've never seen it do that. But there's a first for everything, right? So, so what did everybody do this past weekend? Or did most of us kind of stay in and just sew? I know not all of us had that ability or had that luxury. I did get some work done. I don't know, for some reason I always feel like I'm behind at work. And, well, partially because I kind of am. Gayla Walter says, I've been doing tape at 3.5 by 18 inches in length, thinking about using them within a black background on an angle, maybe try some applique. I might try that too. And Jim Bennett says, had leaks depending on the direction the wind was blowing. Well, I hope it gets fixed. And Joyce is saying, I have gone to the local newspaper and bought end rolls of unprinted paper and used instead of paper piecing papers. Ah, okay. Yeah, I tried asking some of the local newspaper companies. Well, this is when I was in LA. And surprisingly, a lot of them said they don't do print anymore. They just do online or digital. Which, well, I guess I shouldn't be shocked, but because that's the direction or that's the age that we live in, so. But, no. Oh, I didn't press that good. Oh, well. And is this big enough? Ooh, just barely. Okay, so where am I going to cut it? I think I'm going to trim it right there. I will trim this side. And I will trim that one. Okay, so pieces like this that are definitely too small, so I wouldn't throw that. I'll just throw that away. Not worth the stress in trying to figure out how to sew that. Got one more done. Hello, Misty. And she's asking, have you tried Roberto's Taco Shop yet? No. Someone actually recommended to me that I try El Gordo's, and that was good. But they are super busy. And that is bad. Because I had to wait in line for about a good 30 minutes. But those tacos are well worth it. Yeah. And the way they make the tacos is, well, it's made to order. And they have this humongous spigot where they just carve the meat right off there. And it's so good. Who is it? I think the Soya brothers like Roberto's though. Yeah. So next time I'm close by their shop, I'll look for it and try it. Okay. You know, one thing good about sewing crumbs like this is if you're a beginning quilter, this is a very good opportunity to just practice your 1/4 inch seam allowance. And if it's not accurate, who cares? Because you're just sewing scraps together anyway, so long as the fabric doesn't pull apart or you don't go so narrow or have such a narrow seam allowance that your fabrics just kind of fall apart. But I wish somebody told me about crumb quilting when I first started quilting, because then I would have been sewing a lot of crumbs together just to get the practice in. There we go. And Donna Hoskins is asking, what happens if you don't take the paper out? Novice here to paper piecing. Nothing really bad happens to it. It just, at least from my experience, you just have paper inside of your quilt. And if you wash it, I don't know if it damages the inside or whatnot. I don't think it does. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. Okay. Donna Huffler saying, I've learned to always take the paper out before finishing your quote. And Gayla Walters is saying, I add at least a 1/4 inch from the edge of the tape when I trim. And then Barb McKinley says, my Juki is getting cleaned. My Janome doesn't sew as accurate, so I'm mostly crocheting this week. Oh, Juki's having a spa day. Jackie says, celebrated my granddaughter's 14th birthday on Saturday. Well, happy birthday. And Donna Huffler saying, for me, I never leave the paper on my blocks. I don't use anything like muslin papers for sewing scraps, just sew them together. Yeah, just like me. Although sometimes I will use like newspaper, or especially for strings, I will do newsprint paper, muslin, ugly fabric. I hate saying ugly fabric, undesirable fabric. That's what I'll use as my foundation, and I just leave it. Well, except the paper, I'll tear that out as I go. But yeah, if I'm using any other fabric foundation, muslin, undesirable fabric, I'll just leave it in. Okay. Oh, what was the question? Did I put a question in? Let's see. What was my question? Misunderstood fabric. Well, that's a good one, Jim. Ah, yes. Okay. So what is a quilt that you must get done this year? There's, I think I still got one charity quilt that I need to do. And I want to finish up the quilt for the curve quilt using, of course, the QCR mini rulers that I've been working on with everyone on the Zoom call. That's another quilt that I want to get done. Then I do want to do another one of these quilts. Maybe not the exact same one, but maybe do a different layout, or I don't know. Use the crumbs differently, just to experiment. Why am I getting tongue-tied now? Okay, but what's a quote that you guys you feel like you have to get done before the year's end? Maybe we can encourage each other to get it done. Jeannie Whalen says, sometimes I use dryer sheets and just leave it in. So far, it has worked fine. I use dryer sheets too. That's a good one. Who knew that you could use dryer sheets? Or there's alternative uses of dryer sheets. Okay, I'm gonna slap this one on here. It'll fit like that. Yeah. Kelly Quilting Cruises says that dang medallion quilt. It only needs binding. Started it 2 years ago. Come on, Kelly. Just the actually, I shouldn't talk because there's a quilt that I have that I've been avoiding because binding is not my favorite thing to do. No. In fact, it's the table runner. It's the table runner with the coffee fabric that I did earlier this year. It's over there somewhere. And I'm just avoiding it like the plague because I just don't want to bind it, or I just don't want to do the binding. Let's see. Donna Hoffler says, I must get all my UFO quilts done. How many are there, Donna? And Jackie saying her PMQ Tree of Life by Cotton Cuts. Ooh, I know quite a lot of people doing that quilt along. Joyce says she's got 3 Christmas quilts for her 3 kids. And Jeannie is also saying Tula butterfly quilt. You know, I need to talk to Tiffany about that. Yeah, I know she wanted to do like a quilt sew along type of collaboration on that. But we both got busy. Must do pixelated skull quilt by Christmas. It's a gift for her son. That's Diane Watson. Lori Clark says the Hunter Star. Halfway through the blocks now. Ooh, congratulations, Lori. Suzanne Taylor says, I have the templates for the Winding Ways quilt block that I want to make this year. Okay. Jim Bennett says, I need to get the tops I made my 2 sisters made into quilts. They're both full size and I need to quilt on my domestic machine. Yeah, oh gosh, quilting on a domestic machine. It's possible. Not convenient, but well, I know some people enjoy it. I got frustrated with it, which is why I invested in the long arm. You know, this might be big enough. Not quite. Okay, what time is it? Ooh, wow, 8:24 already. Time flies when you're sewing crumbs. Let's see. Joyce is saying, I think Arena of Sugary Dew uses tea bag paper. Oh, that's a first. I've never heard of that. Wouldn't it stain the fabric though? Well, of course, I mean, I'm assuming she's drying it. Okay, Donna says, Eric, somewhere between 6 and 10 quotes to finish or start and finish. Yeah, join the club, Donna. There's always a work in progress. You know you're a quilter when you always have something in progress, right? And then you have a deadline to finish. And, well, if you're like me, you always wait for the last minute to finish it. Or, yeah. You know what was interesting was when I was cleaning out my old apartment, I found all these quilt tops that never got quilted, and I totally forgot about them. So I thought I only had maybe 4 quilt tops that needed to get quilting. No, that number jumped up to close to about 15 or 20 of them. Yeah, I just packed them in a suitcase and totally forgot about them. I should make that a goal. Get 20 quilt tops done before the end of the year. Don't hold me to that, or don't quote me on that, but I'll think, let me let that marinate. Gosh, can you guys believe it's already September? My gosh. And I know some coworkers of mine, well, the big boss at this new company, his favorite holiday is Halloween. So he always throws a big Halloween party, kind of like a community event kind of thing to promote the company. But of course, he just wants to have fun. But they're starting to plan the party already. And I'm like, isn't it a little early? Oh, wait, it's already September. Yep. Let's see. Donna Hoskins is saying, Eric, sew on the binding and lightly glue based and sew at a later date. That's good. That's what I shall do. Although it's not lightly glue basting, I'm probably going to hot glue it just to get it done. Lori Clark says, I'm meeting my long arm artist in October. Easier than mailing it to Nova Scotia. Ooh. Well, hey, that's a road trip to Nova Scotia. And Jim Bennett says, I might check into renting time on a long arm at the quilt shop. Have you done it before, Jim? Because I can almost guarantee that once you rent a long arm and you see how much more convenient it is, yeah, once you go long arm, you never go back. That would be a great to have a quilt along. It might get me going. Okay, Lori Clark says, oh no, she's talking to Kelly. She buys it by the yard and it's unused. Oh, I've never heard of that. A tea paper or tea bag. Oh, no, not tea bags. Huh. I have to look into that because I've never heard anybody using that. Maybe it's, well, it could be just a European thing too, but right, forgot LL, can't remember. Oh, Eric's new live stream, long arming on Tuesday nights. Well, Kelly, maybe not on a Tuesday night, but maybe on a Saturday night. So stay tuned. The only thing is I can't figure out how to mount a camera onto the machine without having it totally, or without having a totally vibrated or fuzzy image. Okay. And And Sue says, I have a baby quilt to do for a Christmas baby. I just got fabric from the Alaska cruise and I think I figured out the quilt pattern to do. Okay. And she has, oh, she might have the tea bags on her website. Okay, I'll have to check that out. So that's Sugary Dew that we're talking about, where she uses the tea bag, I guess the tea bag fabric for it. Okay, so I got some done. Let's see, how much did I do? Well, I mean, I already had big pieces sewn together, so one, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I got some of it done. I think this can get trimmed down. And then still got some smaller pieces that I can sew together. So this will go back in the bin. It's 8:30, so I'm gonna kind of wrap it up here, guys. And truth be told, I'm kind of hungry too. Didn't get to eat, but let's see. Let me put my iron back. And do I have it here? I know I have it somewhere. Oh. Okay. Remember when I said I can never find anything? Now I can't find where I put all my crumb blocks. Oh well. I do have a whole box full of just nothing but crumb blocks like this. So, and it's not enough. Okay. So, tea bag paper is available on Amazon. Ooh, okay. All right, guys. It is 8:30, so I tried to keep these lives on a Tuesday night to 1 hour. Yeah. So don't forget, if you guys want to join the Zoom, it's this Saturday. Send me an email that you're interested, and I will be sending out the information later on this week. Let's see. Any other announcements I need to do? I don't believe so. So, yeah. Any last minute questions before we go? I'll stay on for like a few seconds. If not, people are already saying good night. So good night, Donna. Good night, Donna. Oh, I didn't realize there were both of you. 2 Donnas. Okay, so Donna Hoffler and Donna Hoskins. Good night to you both. Good night, Jackie. Good night, Suzanne. Well, with that being said, I want to thank you guys for joining me here tonight. I know you guys have a choice of people that you can follow on YouTube, and for some reason you follow this weirdo. So, yeah. And it's time for us to say good night. So have a great rest of the week. Have a great evening. We'll see some of you on Saturday, and you all know what I'm going to say because we end every live in this manner. So let's all get out there and let's all create something. Bye for now.